sure you've had a number of contacts this evening into Burnie, I suspect. VK3FLJD, portable, VK7JON.
If you're interested in tropospheric propagation, autumn in the southern states of Australia is one of the best times to get on the bands. April is the time when the atmosphere is stable. It's the time of large high pressure systems that cross the Great Australian Bight. They deliver still, clear and sunny days, along with cold and still nights, the perfect environment for a temperature inversion. Mount Martha is on the Mornington Peninsula, just on 70 kilometres south of Melbourne. My station is 70 metres above sea level. With unencumbered views from Port Phillip Heads to the south, to the northeastern suburbs of Melbourne. Propagation to the west is very reliable at this time of year, and it's not uncommon to work coastal tropo into the South Australian town of Mount Gambier on a daily basis. The path from Mount Gambier to Mount Martha is relatively flat. Starting in Mount Gambier, the Crater Lakes are a feature of the Mount Gambier skyline. Flying over the town, we head east to Melbourne at a couple of 100 metres. Crossing the border into Victoria, the pine plantations dominate the landscape. Between Hamilton and Port Fairy, Mount Napier is a feature. The western plains of Victoria are predominantly agricultural. To the right is Lake Corangamite, near Colac. As Geelong comes into view, so does Port Phillip Bay and the Bellarine Peninsula. The last part of our journey reveals the Mornington Peninsula, and in particular, my QTH at Mount Martha. I use a dual band 2 and 70 cm Yagi, as well as an 18 element 23 cm antenna, both made by Antenna Amplifiers. These antennas work exceptionally well.
A few more for sure. I had my first contact at 6 o'clock this morning, so it's been fairly busy. Geelong Beacon's quite strong.
This is Robin, VK5TN on 2 metres, with the dual band Yagi.
All right, cheers, Bob. Good to catch up, and a nice, steady, strong signal. No QSB at all. VK3B and C, VK5TN. Cheers.
Robin and Colin, VK5DK, both live in Mount Gambier and are regulars on the bottom end of 2 metres. April is known for large high-pressure weather systems that bring stable weather to the southeast coast of Australia. High-pressure systems are known as anticyclonic systems, and these systems are responsible for subsidence temperature inversions. The mean sea pressure level maps show where the anticyclonic system is and its journey from west to east. The Hepburn charts also show intense tropospheric propagation, which follows the high pressure systems. This weather pattern is common for autumn in the southern states. The air at the centre of a high pressure system descends. It's compressed as it moves downwards into levels where the pressure is higher and warms up, just like the end of a bike pump. When the subsiding air becomes as dense as the air beneath it, it will cease to sink and creates a layer of warm air sitting on a layer of cold air. A temperature inversion will form at the boundary between this warm descending air and cool surface air. Temperature inversions usually form at dawn and dusk, the best time of the day for DX. Ducks tend to develop progressively through the lifetime of an anticyclone. So the biggest tropo openings tend to occur after several days of enhanced propagation. In autumn, we tend to get the best of both subsidence and radiation inversion mechanisms.
It's a bit foggy and dewy here. It's 13 degrees I see at the moment, but here bright blue sky everywhere. VK3DLO, VK3II.
And
Roger, 59 plus, Jimmy, 59 plus. I was beaming Portland originally.
An inversion causes radio propagation at certain frequencies known as ducting. There are two types of ducts, surface and elevated. These ducts allow VHF and UHF contacts well beyond that of line of sight.
VK3SS, this is portable, this is VK7SRK, also portable, yeah.
Traffic on 2 metres in VK3 tends to peak during the autumn months, especially over the Easter break.
Yeah, VK3 Echo Juliet, VK7 MD. I can hear you fine, over.
Another form of propagation is obstacle propagation. The VK7 RAE beacon is located on the northern beaches of Tasmania, near Devonport. From Mount Martha, I don't have a direct path to VK7 as Arthur's Seat and Red Hill provide a 300-metre obstacle, which just blocks RF in its tracks. So to overcome the problem, I go around it. Here's the 23cm signal from VK7 RAE on Don Hill, bouncing off the Melbourne CBD. If you can't work a station direct, try bouncing off a nearby obstacle. Working Troppo is a lot of fun, especially when there are plenty of stations to work.
Alright, I'll go back and see if I can collect a few new ones. Got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 so far, Andrew, over.
You don't need to be a home station with the latest gear either. Mobile and portable stations can have Troppo contacts just as easily as home stations. So get on the radio at dawn and dusk and call CQ. You never know who may answer.